When I say it's been tough getting nickel boxes lately, I mean it. This week I picked up 4 uncirculated boxes, but I was able to score at least one box that we can hunt. I know we can hunt it because from the holes in the bottom, I can see that we have circulated nickels. So for today's hunt and fill episode, we're just going to be doing this one box, and fingers crossed, it's got goodies for the books. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said in the intro, nickel boxes, as far as circulated boxes, have been tough for me to get this week. But fortunately, I was able to get one, so I figured we'd go ahead and hunt it and see if we can get some goodies for the books. Now, this is going to be Hunt and Fill episode number 106, and it's box number 82 of the series. If you guys would like to start the Hunt and Fill series from the very beginning, I have that link down below in the video description, as well as pinned up here. The mission is to get this second Jefferson Nickels album completed before 167 boxes, like it took us to complete the first Jefferson series book. Now, it's box number 82. We're only missing a 39S and a 50D, and of course that 50D is a tough one to find. That being said, we do have a box. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and pop the top of this box, hopefully. Hopefully it goes well. It went well. And hopefully we have some goodies in it. I do see a dirty nickel ender, but I also see a decent amount of older Jefferson enders, so it might be a good box. And for those wondering, this is not part of the same bank pickup as that epic nickel box we had. That bank has been closed ever since. Maybe I put them out of business with all the good finds. Either way, we're going to begin the hunt. I will be showing all of the 1959 and earlier nickels because it's a one-box hunt, so stay tuned and I'll bring you back in for my first find. Roll number 1 has our first find about halfway through the roll. It's just going to be a 1954 nickel, minted, and I think that might be a 54S. And it is. We'll take a 1954S, not a much better date, but slightly, and it's San Francisco minted, and I don't see a lot of those in my area. Roll number 2, let's go ahead and add a 1957 Denver to the board. Same roll, got another find, 1956 Denver. Roll number 3 is going to have another find, and this time it's our oldest find. It's a 1948 Philadelphia in decent shape. Roll number 6 had a couple of finds. I just pulled out a 1966 nickel in pretty nice condition. Got a little scratch on the back, but we'll still check it against the album. But I bring in because we also have a 1955 a few coins later. And it's going to be a Denver, so we'll check it for that D over S, which I don't see. And for those wondering, I did check that 1954S for the S over D, and it didn't have it, of course. Still the same roll, and we got another find. This one's going to be a 1952 nickel in pretty good shape. And that's going to be an S mint mark. A couple of S minted nickels, I'll take those. 52S is slightly lower mintage, and it's nice to add it to the board. Roll number 9. Another early Jefferson find, 1947 Philadelphia. Roll number 10, 1952 again. And this time, could have a mint mark. Hard to see. It is another 1952S. You know what? This box is pretty good so far through the first 10 rolls with a lot of finds on the board. Not early ones, but good ones overall. Let's find some more. Roll number 11. Another 1947. 1947, and it's going to be a Denver this time. We'll take it. Same roll, we'll add a 1946 Philadelphia to the board. Roll number 12, another 1946. This time, Philadelphia. Roll 13, it's like there's a find in every box because this roll is going to give us a 1948 Jefferson nickel from Philly. Well, we're on roll 14, and this box just keeps putting out finds because I just happened to run across a 1941, so I decided to flatten out the roll, and I can see a 46 and a 39 in the back, almost an ender. So the 1941 is going to be a Philly, and that's our oldest Jefferson, well, before the 39. And then we have the 1946 right here. And that's going to be a Denver. And then, of course, we have the 39. So hopefully it has a mint mark. We need the San Francisco most of all, but it's pretty slick. It's going to be a 39 Philly as expected. So we'll just quickly check it to see if it's the DDR, which I don't see. And for sure a Philly. I was just checking for that Henning notch. 1939 Philly to add to the board. Board's getting full. Only 14 rolls in. Roll number 15. Another 40s nickel. 1947. And I think that's going to have an S as well. It does. 1947 S is 1 year off a key date, or a semi-key date, I should say, but still a lower mintage and another nice find. Roll number 16. We have a 1954 Jefferson nickel. We've already found one. And this time it's from Denver. And while I have you here, this one is catching my eye or piquing my interest. Let's take a look. It's Philadelphia. Yep, 1958 Philadelphia. It's a lower mint as well. We'll take that. Roll number 17 has a couple of more finds. The first one is going to be this 1940 Philly. And I already saw it peeking out. We also have a 1957 Denver. Roll number 18, yet another find, and we might be back because it looks like there's a few other older nickels in here, but that's going to be a 1956 Philadelphia this time. Same roll, I figured I'd run through it and see if there's more finds than there was. There's a 59 Denver, first from that year, and we also had another 1954 Philadelphia, and I think we have the Philadelphia PD&S set for the 1954 year. Great box, great start. 32 rolls still to go. Roll 20, a 1958 Denver. Roll 21, another 1957 nickel from Denver. Same roll, and we now have a 1951 Philly for the board. Roll number 22 had back-to-back finds, so I figured I'd put them side by side for you. A 1958 Philly, another better date, and a 1956 Denver. Man, box is hot. Roll number 23. We've got another 1957 Denver nickel, and since I have you here, and it might be another oldie, yep, 1958 Denver. Roll number 24. Yet another 1954 Denver nickel. Roll number 25 had a couple of finds. The first find was early on, and I knew we had another older nickel, so I figured I'd film it together. A 58 Denver, and right at the back of the roll, another 1952, and that might have an S mint mark again, and it does. Wow. Lots of 52 S's, lots of S minted nickels, and lots of finds. Halfway through the box. Roll 27, another nickel from 1946, minted in Philadelphia. It looks like there might be a ding there. Yeah, Philadelphia and no notch. And for those wondering, I'm checking the 46Ps, of course, for the Henning mark and weighing them up on the scale. Same roll, 1941 Philly. Roll number 28 is going to give us another crack at a 39S. It's a 1939 nickel, although it is pretty worn. 39 Philly. I thought with as many S-minted nickels we've seen lately, I'll have to look at that. I think it's just damage that looks like the hook of an S. 1939, not the DDR, and no Henning notch. Let me look at that. Yeah, I don't think there's a mint mark there. Just some pretty cool damage. Either way, another 39P for the top of the board. 22 rolls left. Roll 31. Another 1948 nickel from Philly. Same roll, and we have another 1952 nickel. And this time, a Philadelphia. Roll number 32. A 1940 Jefferson nickel with some damage from Philly. And since I have you here, this one looks like it could be old as well. 1948 Philadelphia again. Roll 33. 1941. I think that's a San Francisco. And it is 41S. Roll 35 has two more finds. Yet another 1952 Denver this time. in the front. Oop, that goes there. And then I saw a 1956 peeking out, minted in Denver. Roll number 39 has a couple of more finds. We have another 1952, and I don't see that year very often. And that one's going to be a pretty nice 1952 Denver for the board. And then I also saw a 1948 from Denver as well. Roll number 41 is going to give us our first nickel from 1949. 1949. And that's San Francisco as well, I believe. Yes, it is. 49S is a semi-key date nickel, lower mintage, and that's a good sign. We only have 9 rolls left, but good seeing one of these in the box. And again, a lot of S mints that I don't see too often. Just grabbed roll 42 out of the box, opened it up and laid it out, and look what I see here. A stickerized nickel, colorized, 2006 Denver. One side colored, I like it. It's a nice little miscellaneous find for the collection. Same roll, and we have a couple of more finds. A 1941 Philly, and just sneaking out of the back here is another 1941, but that one Denver. Roll 43, another early Jefferson find, 1954, Philadelphia. Roll 44 had 2 finds. I didn't film as I found them because they were just in the 50s. A 1959 Denver and a 1956 Denver as well. Roll number 47 has a couple of finds so far. A 1959 Denver, and I wasn't going to film the 59, but then I found this one, a really nice 1959, and take a look at that. Philadelphia. Holy cow. I flipped it around and said I'm going to film these two because the 59P is a better date and it's in nicer condition. Roll number 49, a 1948. 48, Philly. Just grabbed roll 50 out of the box, flipped it around, and I think we have a 1958 Ender. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, and I'll see if there's any friends with it. That 58 Ender is a 58 Denver, and it was all by itself in that roll. I went ahead and searched it in case there was other finds. There wasn't. Let me go ahead and get this counted and sorted, and I'll get you guys a recap of this pretty dang good one-box hunt. All right, we have finished that one-box hunt, and I'll tell you, it was a really jam-packed, full of finds box as far as just Jefferson Nickels are concerned. 56 finds on the board. I like 20 to 25, so that was definitely a really good box, and had we had 2 of them, we probably would have had over 100 finds. That being said, it was an odd box because we had no Civil War nickels, no Buffaloes, no V nickels, only 1 semi-key date, although a handful of better dates for sure, and the colorized coin. You guys have seen the finds. Now I need to compare the finds to the albums to see if we have any upgrades or additions. And unfortunately, because none of the 39s were 39Ss and we didn't get any 50Ds, we know we don't have an addition to the Series 2 book after 82 boxes, but maybe an addition or an upgrade to the books after this hunt. Let me compare the finds to the books, and then I'll be back with a look at the books and some final thoughts on the hunt. Figured I'd come back after the first culling through. I go through all the nickels on the board and put the best year in mint in front of us. 59P and D, 258Ps and a D. And the reason why I kept both of them is because it's a better date. We got the 57D, 56P and D, 55D, all 54s, no 53s, all 52s, 51P, 49S, the only 49 in the box, and it was a semi-key date, 48P and D, 47PD and S, 46P and D, 41P and D, 40P, and 239Ps. Pretty good nickels right here. Some of them are pretty nice. Now I got to check them against the album, see if we have any additions or upgrades, which I'll do right now. Well, I've compared the finds to both books, and despite 56 finds in that box, we have no additions or upgrades to the Series 2 book because it's in really good shape and it only needs 2 tough date nickels. So now through 82 boxes, we're still at 134 out of 136, but we have 85 more boxes to go until we tie the Series 1 completion box number with 167. So we're not even halfway there yet, and we only need 2 nickels, although they're tough finds. For the Series 3 book, despite all those finds as well, we didn't have any that I felt like I could pop out and put in their place as upgrades. So I decided not to do that. We had some close calls, but nothing really worth upgrading. That being said, we do have an addition, the 1947 S nickel, and I will take that all day at almost 25 million minted. Good to see an addition there. So now after 17 boxes, we have 57 of the 65 nickels in this book through only 1961. Hopefully, despite the lack of war nickels, buffaloes, and other really cool finds, you guys still enjoyed this one box hunt. If you're going to hunt one box and it has 56 finds, you can't get mad at that, war nickels or not. If you did, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching. I know. No silver yet again.